back to a brand new video. Today I'm going to show you all the things that I use to make my life easier with all the disabilities I've got. So let's just get into it. So I have got loads of disabilities compared to other people, but the main one that I'm talking about today is my cerebral palsy, because that's the one that affects me in my day-to-day life. So these are products or things I do that make life easier. Because I've got the type of disability I've got, I need to change some things up. I need to do things different. I need different products to help me. Because I've got left side hemiplegia, it affects mainly, well, my left side, but mainly my left hand. So you might not think that you do a lot with both of your hands, but you do. Like, believe me, you do. So there's just been a couple of things that I need to have or do different, and that's what I'm going to show you. But before I get into the products I use for my cerebral palsy, I just want to say a product that I'm not going to show you, or an item that I'm not going to show you, is all the blankets. Or I've got a weighted blanket, I've got duvets, I've got hoodies, I've got house coats, loads of house coats and hoodies, and especially the hoodie. If you have bad circulation or a heart condition, because it can be both, because I've got a heart condition and cerebral palsy. Because of my cerebral palsy, my circulation isn't that great on my left side. So in the winter I get quite cold, so all of that stuff really helps me to warm up quicker. So that kind of helps, makes life easier for me. But let's get into the other stuff. So I'm going to go with the actual items first, because that's the most I've got. But I have got some doing things that I have changed up. So the first one, I've shown these two things quite a lot. So I'm going to show you how I put it on as well. So I've got this hand trap. I get it checked up every once or twice a year. So it's inside out right now. This is what it looks like inside out. And I just turn it around, or the right way around. It's quite difficult because these hand traps are made to like tighten your arm, not to the point it's like not breathing or like not getting circulation, but like it to strengthen your arm. It makes me like strengthen this bit. It takes a while to take it off, like take the fingers out. So let's take off my watch. And this is how I put it on.
Trying to show it on camera, but it's very difficult. Why is it not?
My phone chopped halfway through of me putting this on, but this is what it looks like. So it just strengthens my arm, straightens it. So if I try and straighten my arm, this is what it looks like. So it just like tightens it so I can straighten it more easier. I will say these break quite quickly, but I think that's because they're that tight. They're not like super tight. Like I can still like move my hand, do all the things, but it just makes me be able to grab things more easy when I have it on compared to when I have it off my arm. If you want to see more of my hand trap, how I put it on, how I take it off, I will link my TikTok down below, but go check out my TikTok because I post loads of content about disability and spreading awareness to hidden and physical disabilities on there. So let's get on to the next one. So the next one is my foot. Now this is still to do with cerebral palsy. So one of my hips is the tiniest, less than an inch, bigger or smaller than my other hip. So one of my hips are the level that it's meant to be at, and then the other one is a little bit smaller than it's meant to be. So to try and like balance my hips out, I wear this in my shoes. So as you can see, there's a little like clip thing. So the higher this is, the obviously worse my hips are. And as you can see, it's quite low. So over the years, my hip has got closer and closer to like being leveled out. I don't think it will always be like, I don't know if it will ever be like balanced, like they're both joined together. They're obviously joined together, but one's higher than the other. But I don't know if they'll ever be like balanced, but this helps my balance out. Next thing is this, and I don't really use it that often, but I want to show you it. I'm going to try it with this because I've never done it with my hand trap on. I always do it when it's off. So obviously I can do it with this hand easily. This is 5 kilograms. And we got it at Flying Tiger, I'm pretty sure. Don't know if they still have it. But me and my family fought. I fought as well. This would help me strengthen my arm. So as you can see, it's kind of hard to put it on. But when I put it on, I'm able to do this and it strengthens it. So that's how it works. It's just to strengthen my muscles, like give my arm a little workout. Next thing, last and final object, well kind of, the rest of the objects are just shoes. So this is a fork, as you can see, but there's a slight little difference compared to normal forks. I don't know if you can notice, but this one has more bend and more sharp there. So this is like an all-in-one. So you can use it as a spoon because it's got this bend. It's more difficult. Personally to me, it's more difficult using it as a spoon than an actual spoon. But if I have trouble ever cutting things, to be independent, because these products and these things are what make me independent, are what like help me do things on my own and be able to live on my own in the future. So this fork has a little bend for like a spoon to pick up beans or anything, but then it has a sharp edge compared to knives. Well, it's not as sharp as a knife, but it's got like that, able to cut. So compared to forks, it's quite sharp at the edge. And that's because, like I said, you can cut with it. So sometimes when I use my knife and fork, it's hard to like cut some things with my knife and hold my fork. But this just makes it easier to cut and then go like that. So this is one thing I actually got given it, I think I got someone to come round one day, a couple of years ago now, like quite a while ago, to check over things that I might need in my day-to-day life, and this was one of them. Next thing that was one of them that she gave me, can't really show you guys right now because it's in the kitchen on a high shelf, but I will put a picture here that that looks similar. So I've got this chopping board and it has a grater, a corner to put my bread on, so I can butter my bread, because when I was younger, I can do it now, but when I was younger, every time I buttered my bread, I would get butter on my thumb from holding the bread down, or a hole in the bread. So that helps out. And then there's little jaggy bits on the board. So it's a massive board. It's about that size with all these different items to help me. And there's little jaggy bits. So if I'm ever cutting an onion or an apple, I just put it on the jaggy bit without hurting myself. And it's easier for me to cut instead of doing the method that non-disabled people get taught, is like the bridge. I was never able to do the bridge because I can't cut with my left hand, because one, it's dangerous and I could cut myself and I just don't have control. But also I could not do the bridge and hold the onion with my left hand because, again, I could cut myself. Sometimes I hear some people talk about this, and I don't get it that often, but I normally get jerks. Like I said, I don't get it that often, but specifically when I'm like doing like not cutting with a sharp knife every time, but if I'm ever cutting things or like eating food, I sometimes like jerk. I think it's it's mostly with my left hand actually. So I hear people talk about that, like spasm, like moving. I don't get it that often, but now that I know what it is, like I do realise I do get it. So that is the chopping board that I don't use right now, but we've still got it, because if I ever live on my own, and if, let's just say I don't get a boyfriend or I'm single or whatever, and I live on my own, this will be useful in the future. Even if I did live with a boyfriend or a partner, I would still want to be independent, so this chopping board would help me be independent. And just like now, I could use it if I make a dinner. It is quite difficult to it takes a while to wash it, but it helps me in the long term of not hurting myself. So the next thing is this shoe. Now, loads of people make these types of shoes now, but when I was a child, there wasn't that many. I can't remember. I did have a pair, but I don't think there was that many. But now I see these types of shoes everywhere. So, as you can see, there is a zip. I can do up the zip quite easily. The problem I have is the laces. Now, I have found a solution for doing my laces, but when I wasn't able to do my laces, these were amazing, because I used to ask my family members, my parents, my sister, to do my laces, and then I would have a couple of days that I could just be independent with my own shoes. That is the main priority here. Is I like being independent. Like some people might think, oh, it's quite nice to like get other people to do things like tie your laces. You don't have to do it. It gets annoying. Like, you want to be independent. It's simple things like this that people don't think of. So when I was younger, having shoes like this really helped. Next pair of shoes. Now, as you can see, these are just normal. These are my working out shoes. But what I'm going to show you is how I tie them. So let's loosen them off. So how I tie them, I need to do it this way anyway, so I know what I'm doing. Is for anyone who has actually got cerebral palsy or just can't tie their shoes, this is a way to tie your shoes. So you get this one, you loop it around, you put it underneath, and then I just get my pinky. Literally, the main thing I use is my pinky. And then you pull it, obviously with your foot on, you hook it, so you go under, again with that one, and then you just grab each side, and then you pull. I sometimes need to if I haven't pulled it properly, I need to redo it or find a way to pull it, as you just saw there. But then you've got a lace. Now the thing is though, these are quite long, so I can't really do double knots, or I've never tried. Watch this, I might actually be able to do one. Yeah, no. So I can't do double knot, but I can do my laces now. And that's been an achievement from having this disability. Like, I would say this, like my dad saw this video on Facebook, and this is where we got how to tie your laces. And if I did not find that video, if my dad did not find this video, I would probably still be asking my parents and my sister to still tie my laces. And as a 22, nearly 23-year-old, I don't want to ask my parents or my sister to tie my laces. So I'm quite proud and pleased that I've been able to do this. I started, I think it was about when I was 16. It was in this house. I'm pretty sure it was in this house. So I was 15 or 16 when we moved. So I was about like between 15 and 17 when I learned to tie my shoelaces. So I'm not trying to put people down, but this is what I mean by appreciate the things that you can do. It's the simple things that can be difficult sometimes, and people with non-disabled people don't realise that. They take the little things for granted. Like, I'm so grateful I can do this. And that's why I like to spread awareness to hidden and physical disability, to educate people, but also teach people who have the type of disabilities I have, how to do things like this. Like, teach the skills that I've learned. But I hope you enjoyed this video. Hope you like seeing everything that helps me have a better life and helps me have an easier life with the disabilities I've got. And I will see you with another video on Wednesday, because this is going up on Friday. Bye! Give it a thumbs up if you like this video. Forgot to mention this. Now, not everybody with cerebral palsy needs this, but I find, the reason why I wanted this, I asked for this for my birthday or Christmas 2020, I think. And the reason why I wanted this is because every time I worked out, I got muscle pain. Or it was on a rare occasion that I did not get muscle pain. And I thought, I've seen people use this for muscle pain, for your underneath your thigh, or I wanted to use it for this bit here because it's like a non-electrical massager, like the ones that you can get what you plug in or like charge up. It's like a manually one, kind of. So it's got all of these bumps, and it just helps like to massage your muscles after a workout. So that's the last thing that I use. I don't use it every single time, but I will say it does come in handy when I do have muscle pain.